Yeah, really proud of the team. Gutsy team win. I think first for our seniors, our guys that played their last game in here, always super important to us to send those guys out on the right note, and very proud that the team was able to come together and get that done. Really proud of the response just of our football team. After the loss last week. And then had a I'll say interesting week of practice. Had a couple of disruptions that the guys handled. Again, coming off a loss, kind of all that, you could have kind of said poor me and let it pile on and not been ready to play against a really good football team, and that wasn't the case. Our guys really took a disjointed week and handled it extremely well. So proud of that, and yeah, just a complete team win. I mean, it took all sides. Defensively, our pressure was relentless all day. The physicality was apparent. We did a great job on third down. I think we faced a lot of fourth downs. I know we can be a little bit better there. Want to finish better, but obviously the defense was incredibly impactful, including maybe one of the single biggest play of the game, the Redmond fumble return for a touchdown right before half. So fantastic there. Special teams, I thought our punt team was phenomenal. Michael Turk was elite, and we did a pretty nice job of covering. That's a lot of error under some of those punts, and especially the Trayvon West tackle there on the last punt. I thought if the Redmond was the biggest play of the game, that was the second biggest play of the game. Fantastic there. Offensively, obviously ran the ball pretty decent on the day. I thought there were some really positive things there. Throw game was not very sharp. Had close on a lot of accounts, close on a lot of throws. Just didn't execute very good in the throw game. Just kind of top to bottom. Wasn't near sharp there, obviously, as we need to be. And then obviously the third down offense, I think, sort of thing that stands out. One of the biggest differences in our opportunity to separate and play more consistent and stay on the field for more than 53 plays. You got to do better than go 1 of 10 on third down. So, but in the end, man, it's win number 10. That's a darn good football team. And we all know we've been in a lot of battles against those guys, and that's a darn good football team that we just beat. And so excited to get our 10th win. I'm excited to also, I would say, I know I say this at the end of each year. Each year we've had the opportunity to do it, but to be able to go through our home slate undefeated. We take a lot of pride in playing here. We think we play in one of the great stadiums and great venues in the country, and it's very important for us to protect that. So to be able to get through our home schedule here this year and win them all is a very important thing for us and something we're proud of.
Okay, let's start with Ryan Aber.
Yeah, Lincoln, wanted to start off by asking about the pressure that y'all brought up front. You mentioned that big play, Jalen's touchdown return, but really all day, what do you feel like was behind that? The difference is whether it's the plan going in or what y'all were able to do today against Brock Purdy and the Cyclones.
Yeah, we got some penetration. Obviously, we're able to have flushed him out quite a bit. And I think the biggest thing I saw was we finished a lot of the plays. I mean, we finished very physically. I mean, a couple of the fumbles, a couple of the hits on their guys. We got a couple pretty big shots on Brock. And so I think just the pressure, but just our physicality, I think really showed up. And I was excited about the physicality I saw on the football field. Our guys played very physical. And we knew, again, they're a tough team. They're a big team, experienced teams. Something that was emphasized throughout the week, and the guys obviously did a great job taking to it.
And speaking of that, just real quick, what'd you think of the hit that Perry on laid there in the second quarter?
I was glad it wasn't me. That was a shot. No, it was. I mean, those are some of the momentum plays, man, that just get you going. The crowd was going crazy at that point. It was a big time play. It was just pursuit to the football and just an elite physical finish.
Appreciate it, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
John Shin. John Shin.
I don't think he hears you.
I don't think John can hear. Let's go to Jesse Crittenden.
Yeah, Lincoln. Is it? Yeah,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, Lincoln, I appreciate your time. You kind of mentioned this a little bit ago, but you guys obviously were able to establish the run game when it was kind of a struggle for you guys last week. Just what did you see from last week to this week, and what do you think was kind of behind you guys being able to establish the run today?
We called it a little bit more. Guys played, I thought, pretty physical, had movement the majority of the day. Obviously got the big one there from Caleb, right off the top, which was was obviously an important play to kind of get us off to a good start. And, I thought the backs ran hard, saw things pretty well. And again, that's a good group to run it on too. They don't make the run game very easy. They're very unique with their fits and a lot of really good players up there. So I was proud. It was obviously, especially the second half, and we got some momentum. I thought the drive. I think we ended up missing the field goal, but we had that right before the second half. We got some momentum. Started running it well. I thought maybe warmed down a little bit there, and we were able to carry that some into the second half. So that was important, and it always is against these guys. I mean, they're just so difficult. They play their scheme so well that if you don't run it some, you're going to be sitting there throwing against drop 8 coverages all day, and it requires a lot of precision. And today was a day where we were not as precise at times as we needed to be in a throw game. And so, but to be able to run it, it was obviously one of the differentiating factors in the game. I mean, the rushing battle, us over 200 and them I'm seeing 51. I mean, that probably the difference in the game.
Appreciate it, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John Shin, can you hear? I think he's off. Let's go to Barry Trammell.
Yeah, Lincoln. First of all, the distractions you talked about, or the disruptions you talked about, what was that all about?
Yeah, we had the flu kind of made its way through our football team, and we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty significant. I mean, probably we had a couple days of COVID in fall camp where we might have had a few more guys out, but not many. I mean, we were 20 plus a couple of those days as far as players that were out. So we had to shift and kind of make do a little bit. So again, give the kids a lot of credit because it was a disjointed week.
I was going to ask you about Caleb. He seemed reluctant to run even after the long touchdown run. When nothing was open, he'd sort of still sit in the pocket. What's with his? Is that something that's legit, or is that just something he's supposed to do? What's going on there?
Yeah, I think just trying to be patient, give guys chances to work in routes, and that's a double-edged sword with an athletic guy like that. And you want them to be aggressive at times, but sometimes you get guys like that and they get too run happy and just want to take off, and that sometimes is not the answer as well. So it's kind of his first time going against a scheme like this. He'll learn from it. And again, I think already off the top of my head several things I could have done better to put him and the offense in better positions. So he'll learn and grow. I do like the fact that he's trying to be patient and trying to see things and let things develop and give guys opportunities down the field. Am I going to be able to pull back the film and say, yeah, maybe here or there would have been a good time to take off? Sure, but he'll grasp that more as we go on. I like the fact right now that his patience is there, and I think it's a key thing for a young guy.
One last question: the 75-yard run, was that a run-pass option, or was that a straight scramble?
Run-pass option.
John Hoover.
Yeah, Lincoln, I wanted to follow up with you about the flu. How did you manage that breakout as a coach? You said you did some adjusting, and then that's a perfect opportunity for guys to come back from a loss and say, well, it's just not our year.
Yep.
How did they bounce back from that?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, if they would have listened to a lot of people on the outside, we probably wouldn't have, and they didn't. So, no, they did a great job. Yeah, it was, like I said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I mean, we had to basically totally change our practice schedule. We didn't have enough guys, near enough guys to be able to practice the way we're used to practicing. As far as, it hit offense, defense, and special teams. One day we had an entire position group basically wiped out, which was interesting, a pretty significant position group. hit your scout teams. I mean, it hits everything. It impedes your ability to do full speed work. So, and it's tough, of all the weeks not that you want that to happen any week, but I know, when you're getting ready for all the challenges they present schematically, you're defensively, you're trying to get ready for all their shifts, motions, the personnel groupings. You're trying to get a young quarterback ready to play against this style of defense for the first time. I mean, it was a challenge. I mean, it was, but it's the hand we got dealt, and that's we said the whole week, ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for us. So we gutted it out, and again, I think the kids we explained the plan to them while we were doing what we were doing, and they didn't blink.
Follow for you, if you don't mind, your perspective on the play at the end of the half. The seconds are winding down, and Key Lawrence comes out of nowhere, and that ball's laying on the ground. Just tell me what your perspective was and your reaction.
Yeah, no, it was just such a physical play, and I thought it really. It was kind of fitting way to end the half, just the way the half played out. It was kind of a slugfest there in the first half, and a lot of physical plays on both sides, and our defense was especially physical. So, and we kind of defensively, it was almost like we were on the tough end of a few. We got a couple bad breaks there too. I mean, the first touchdown or whatever they kind of called it, out of bounds there. That was such a wild play. I mean, the first thing Brandon said when he came over to me is, "Coach, you're not going to believe this. I've never seen anything like it." And when he explained it to me, I mean, I understood the call. So we kind of had a couple tough things go against us defensively, but it was such a dominant half that I just kind of felt like, that's how this half should end. I mean, that's kind of how this thing's played out. It's kind of like the football gods kind of got all in order there. Yeah.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
James Hale.
Lincoln, you have the best passing attack in the country. I find this interesting that in this game you don't get over 100 yards, and yet I've seen you run timing routes, you run all kinds of routes, but Caleb was holding the ball so long, and is that just because of the amoeba defense? Is that what was it that he just didn't seem to want to pull the trigger at times?
Yeah, I mean they force you into some things. I mean that's again it's just it's. Football can be a complicated game, but it can also be a simple game. When they sit there and drop 8 and you've got 5 guys out there, I mean, that's going to happen some. Now, were there some things that we could have thrown earlier? Was there some things I could have done better? Absolutely. I mean, you got to get some opportunities to get the ball out of your hands, and when the things are there, you got to go. Like that's the thing. We had a few today that it's there, but if you wait just a split second, it closes up, and that's just the nature of playing against a group like this, and especially them, just because. Everybody tries to emulate that defense. Nobody does it as good as them. Nobody. And even watching the film coming in, they've played well. I mean, they've been a top defense all year, and even the times where they've given up plays, man, it's been just by, the windows are tight, and it's been by an inch. And we had a couple shots tomorrow. We had a couple other, the Hazelwood play down there in the end zone. We had opportunities in the throw game. We didn't make as many of them as we needed to, and you got to be just a little bit sharper against them, and you got to pull the trigger. And again, there's some things from a design standpoint that areas that I can do better as well. So he'll grow from it. He'll learn. Next time we get in a game like that against a group like that, we'll be ready.
Thanks, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Drum.
Yeah, Lincoln, can you talk about Jalen Redmond and just his overall play today? And I guess even going back to last week and what he does for the defensive line, personnel-wise for you guys. I guess how the offenses, attack you. Do they attack you guys differently when he's in the game?
I don't know that I could say that, but his versatility as a player is a factor, because he's a guy – he can win inside. He's a difficult matchup for guards and centers because of his athleticism really shows up in there. And then when you do get him out on the edge, you're talking about a big guy that typically tackles are used to blocking 240, 250, 260 pound ends, and all of a sudden you throw him out there and it's a different game. So his versatility's been important for us. We're at our best up front when we're getting pressure from different areas. It's not just one guy here and there. And he's it's been good to see him kind of have a stretch of some healthy ball. And typically in his career, when he's been healthy for a stretch of time, his impact gets bigger and bigger and bigger. He gets better and better and better. So certainly saw that today.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Young.
Hey, Lincoln, wanted to ask you about the interception at the end. Looked like Broyles got a hand on it, and then seemingly a kind of a fitting ending for Pat with it being his last game here.
Yeah, great play. It was very, very similar to the – it looked very similar kind of the one that we threw right there. We stretched out, got a hand on it, what an awesome play. It was cool to see Pat, senior, there finish it off like that. And again, it was, I think, fitting for our defense to be able to go out there and finish that thing. I mean, they, played well all day. Kind of caused a lot of havoc all day. So you love seeing guys like that. Kind of be able to have those great memories to take along with them.
James?
Lincoln, it looked like it was a great day for your offensive line, or a pretty good day. I mean, you get the 209 rushing, but Caleb had time to throw.
Yep.
He wasn't harassed. Wasn't it a good day for your offensive line?
I thought the line played well. I thought they did. We were pretty clean in the run game the majority of the day. Like you said, pretty clean pockets for the most part. Had a couple things here and there where a couple times that we got beat. 9 beat us a couple times, but not much. No, I think our O-line was certainly the strength of the offense today.
Yeah, thanks, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to Barry for the last one.
Lincoln, you guys did a great job on Kolar until the last possession, and then all of a sudden he looked like Kobe Bryant or somebody.
Yep.
Nobody could stop him. What happened in those last 2 possessions where just far down the field?
Yeah, they got some big body matchups on us a couple times. We busted a zone coverage. I think on one of the fourth down, maybe that he cut the ball over the middle. I think that was him. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, we busted one zone. Had a couple times in man that they just made competitive throws and catches. And that's the big body like him is tough, man. They do a good job using them. Obviously, throw those guys the ball a bunch, especially when they got down there and kind of got in hurry-up mode. And and then I think the other thing that makes them tough is with Hutchinson on the outside, they have some legitimate threats outside. So it's do you want to play one-on-one there? Or do you want to give some help and then play those tight ends one-on-one? And that's kind of what their skill position guys. That's the position they put you in. And so they did a nice job. Made a couple of competitive plays. Again, other than the zone coverage, most of them we were there. But your safeties, your nickels, your guys like that, you've got to stay in the frame of the body and not give guys like that any space to operate, because they are, when the ball gets there, if you're not in great position, the big body, the length shows up. And so when we defended him well, we were kind of in the body and really closed the space. And when we didn't, he made plays.
Well, last question. You guys are 10-1, and you've played now at least 7 close games and 5 or 6 that went literally to the last 20 seconds. In some ways, it's a disappointing year the way you've played, but in some ways, it's remarkable that you're 10-1. What's your secret in close games?
We just win. I don't know that I don't know exactly how to answer that. Disappointing. We've had disappointing moments in this year. Sure. We're 10-1. Go pass that along to anybody else and see what they think about that.